Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and very good evening to everyone, especially to the presenters of GMAT 10 in Alanya, Turkey. It's already evening here in Malaysia. My name is Haslina Harizan. Today I'm going to present the study with the title of Visitors' Perceptions Towards the Management of Main Mosque in Malaysia. Me and one Sains, we did this research, and it is time for us to share the findings. Okay, next. The presentation agenda starts with the introduction till the conclusion. Okay, as an introduction, as you know, the mosque in Islam is a very important institution for all Muslims. Does not only serve as a center of worship and religious development, but also a tourist center that is able to attract many visitors due to its beauty and uniqueness of design and art. In the present day, mosque is a place whereby government departments or agencies, including Malaysia, conduct various Islamic activities and rituals. So as a center of knowledge, culture and civilization, mosque also has established facilities such as library. Besides that, knowledge enhancement programs such as seminars, colloquia and other community gathering events are also organized regularly at the mosque. Okay, up to April 2019, there are 6,136 mosques and 18,279 musallas were registered in Malaysia. Okay, although majority of mosques in Malaysia is newly built with great architecture design, problems related to the management of mosques are still prevail, according to Muhammad Fettels and Haslina in 2017. Studies show that most of the mosques are facing management problems, even though various efforts have been done to overcome them. This is due to lacking of systematic and efficient management system, which makes mosques appear to be less effective in attracting the visitors to come. So besides, the mosque is seen solely as a place of worship and ritual practice limited in the walls, which you can see that the mosque usually packed during Jamaat prayer and also Idul Fitri, Idul Adha. But other times, other than that, it's not so packed. So in Malaysia, main mosque is managed by JAKIM, or the Islamic Development Department of Malaysia, which is governed under the auspices of the Prime Minister's Department, are perceived to be the important trendsetters for other mosques in Malaysia. This main mosque includes National Mosque, the Putra Mosque, and the Tuan Komisaris Zainal Abidin Mosque. Therefore, this research attempt to identify the perception of Muslims towards the management of main mosque in Malaysia and problems faced by this JAKIM main mosque management from visitors' perspectives. So the research question posted here is, what are the perceptions of visitors regarding the management of JAKIM's main mosque? And the research objective is to examine the perceptions of Muslims regarding the management of JAKIM's main mosque, including the identification of its management problems and suggested solutions from visitors' point of view. A little bit on literature review for this study. From the behavioral point of view, perception can be defined as the interpretation of sensation given the meaning and organization. Past studies have been done on various aspects of mosque management, including strategic management, orientation, facility management, and performance, and so on and so on. However, studies which examine the perception of Muslim towards the functionality of mosque in a comprehensive manner through its management aspects among visitors have rarely been done. Besides that, the rising problems and discrepancies are believed to stem from issues related to management of mosques are also important to be investigated, given very few studies which tackle on that problems. Most of the studies related to mosques were originally from Indonesia, Malaysia, and other Islamic countries such as Bangladesh, Nigeria, Iran. Quantitative methods surpass qualitative methods in the past studies. Okay, looking at the trends in researching the scenario of mosque management, it can be summarized that more quantitative studies are therefore required to elicit a deeper and richer understanding of the perceptions regarding the management of the mosque. Thus, it is the attempt of the study to examine the perceptions of visitors regarding the management of mosque Jakim main mosque, besides identifying its management problems and recommendations for improvements from visitors' point of view using a qualitative-based approach. Next, we go to methodology. The study was conducted at the three main Jakim mosques, namely the National Mosque in Kuala Lumpur, the Putra Mosque, and the Tunku Mizan Zainal Abidin Mosque in Putrajaya. The researchers conducted face-to-face interviews, in-depth interviews with 15 respondents selected from among the visitors who frequented any of the above-mentioned main mosque. The study applied a snowball approach in selecting the respondents to be interviewed. It began in September 2017 and completed in May 2018. A total of 15 interviews, which took about 30 minutes each, had been transcribed into Microsoft Word files for the data analysis process. Based on recommendation by Kinsey in 1994, cross-checks were done by having a copy of transcript was then sent to the respondents after the transcription process been done to confirm the accuracy of the interview content. The interview parties were given 1 week for providing any feedback. If no response was obtained, the researcher assumed that they will have fully agreed with the content of the interviews. So after the transcribing process and getting the transcripts cross-checked by the respondents, participants, the recordings were played back for analysis, whereby data was selected, processed, analyzed, and coded into relevant themes. Besides that, the transcript were also co-coded by my fellow partner, Wan Nur Shalizawani. This is to ensure that more consistency in the process of validation, improvement of the study. Okay, results and findings. The profile of participants having a majority of male, age group between 41 to 50 years old, and most of them are government servants. These participants are all active in programs organized as stated above. Okay, based on the diagram, the perceptions of visitors towards the management of mosque is generated based on the codes and themes from data analysis. Okay, these themes can consist of appointment of officers and staff members, facilities and infrastructure of mosque, the role of the mosque, implementation of management practices, leadership of the mosque, atmosphere of the mosque, mosque management problems, and improvement of management practices. Regarding the appointment of officers and staff members, respondents were satisfied with the appointment of officers and staff members at Jakim's main mosque. However, their suggestion that Imam should have a proper certification in Al-Quran studies, besides having good academic achievement and voice. So as Bilal, who performed azan, Bilal only should be selected among those youths who are able to voice the azan well and loudly. But overall, respondents were satisfied with the appointment of officers and staff members. Just the only thing is to improve the criteria for the selection of imams and bilals. Besides that, facilities and infrastructure of mosques. Most of the respondents stated that facilities provided were very comfortable, conducive, and in a good condition. However, management should ensure that the maintenance workers will repair any damages in the premises of the main mosque. The role of the mosque. All respondents agree that the mosque has a significant role as a center for religious development, religious education, congregational gathering, discussion, and reference unity of the ummah, da'wah, social service, and local community. As one respondent suggested that the mosque should establish a daycare center for senior citizens, and also mosque to held any physical activities with teenagers be held at the mosque, and also be an economic center for young people and traders. These are the suggestions to improve or empower the role of the mosque. Next is the implementation of management practices. There were also suggestions from the respondents that the mosque will need more constant monitoring from top management, while the administrative personnel should have an in-depth knowledge about the mosque, including its architecture, background, the design, the story behind it, the history of it, besides organizing impactful and significant programs in order to attract public interest to visit the mosque. Regarding the leadership of the mosque, respondent opinions on leadership implementing managerial Jakim's main mosque were positive. All respondents agreed that the mosque are well managed and operated by the appointed leaders. Atmosphere of the mosque, respondents also agree that it is very easy to come to Jakim's main mosque. All respondents experience great spiritual benefits while being at the respective mosque. Okay, mosque management problems. Respondents provided mixed reviews on the common problems encountered at Jakim main mosque. Some of them said that most of the public visitors, based on their observation, most of the public visitors did not give good cooperation while visiting the mosque, and they did not comply with the guidelines in using the facilities provided at the mosque. For some respondents, they face the illegal stays of homeless people based on their observations, because they are frequently attending the mosque for prayers and so on. Besides that, they reporting thefts and various bureaucracy in assessing the services of the mosque. Respondent also stated that some of the officers and staff members were not creative and innovative enough in promoting and raising the image of the mosque. While another respondent, R7, stated that the toilets and ablution areas were located far away, and this has become a problem which invited complaints from senior citizens and disabled groups. Besides that, communication problems were very common, whereby officers and staff members were assigned to attend foreign visitors and tourists lack of communication skills in foreign languages. Besides that, there are also a number of respondents reported financial constraint may be among the main problems faced in managing the mosque. So the impact of the problems of mosque management, it will tarnish the good name image of the mosque in particular, and Islamic if these problems are not well taken care. Okay, regarding improvement of management practices from respondents' point of view, visitors' point of view, most of the respondents recommended that meetings and discussion to be held regularly to address an issue related to the management of the mosque. Okay, to identify the causes and problems and working together to improve the image of the mosque. Top management should also facilitate the approval of funds to smoothen the activities for the benefit of the mosque and people who are using the mosque, attending the mosque. In improving the accessibility to the facilities and infrastructure of the mosque, several suggested that the toilets and ablution areas to be relocated nearer to the prayer halls to provide ease for elderly as well as disabled groups. Regarding the measures of theft, measures in preventing problem of theft, respondent also suggested that the security controls and monitoring at main mosque to be improved. Some recommend that mosques should be equipped with more CCTVs. Besides current level of cooperation between mosques and the authorities such as Royal Malaysian Force to be beefed up. Okay, for officers and staff members, they should be more open in accepting views and criticisms from experts and professionals in their respective fields of mosque management, as well as in the coordination of fundamental distribution programs of Jakim and Mosque. Besides more training and exposure to officers and staff members, imams and millahs should also be trained more or have a proper training in order for them to improve the quality of service. Okay, in terms of enhancing the leadership, more dedicated leaders in managing the mosque should be appointed. As for communication skill among the officials and staff members, these officials and staff members need to undergo training in language course to enhance their language ability so that they are able to converse with foreigners. Okay, besides that, they need to be more creative and innovative in parallel with the latest technology in managing the mosque. Means they require training for that. Okay, in order to attract more people to come and visit this main mosque, respondent suggests that the mosque needs to plan strategically the programs in order to promote Islamic culture in the society by looking into the need of the community surrounding the mosque. Besides that, to utilize the latest technology such as multimedia technology during sermons. Okay, I will skip this. The implications of the study may help the management personnel to detect problems that arise. These perceptions, identify problems are important in ensuring the effectiveness of the implementation of management practices at the main mosque so that the role of mosque is always sustainable for future generations. Okay, given limited time and resources, the study only examines mosque management aspects which are relevant and unique to the Jakim's main mosque. Besides based on the visitor perceptions. Therefore, the scope of the mosque management is to be expanded in future studies. It is recommended that future researchers should conduct a more detailed study on the way to attract more foreigners and non-Muslim visitors. Besides that, qualitative methods used in the study may also need to be complemented with quantitative-based studies using survey and questionnaires, so that the result can be generalized to the larger populations. As the conclusions, not only the physical look of the mosque that matters, but the management of the mosque is extremely important. Therefore, it requires the process of planning, managing, directing, coordinating, and controlling effectively in order for us to be effective organization in delivering the right message about Islam. Okay, thank you and wish all of you have a good time in Turkey. Assalamualaikum.